Hi bestie, welcome back. It's episode 8 in our Colouring Every Page from the Bobbie Goods Day to Night Colouring book series, and today we are working on the cloth. I'm using these colours. I'll have them all linked and listed below in the pinned comment, and I'll also put the Amazon link to the 216 Ohuhu set that I will be grabbing these colours from. We're starting with R7, which is Old Red, and this is going to be our pop of colour for the page. So I thought that it was, I think I'll be okay. I don't think I'll need a protective sheet, so I'll just, I thought I could do like a nice autumnal vibe for this page. So I'm going to start with just the panels first. This is a very rich colour, but it looks so gorgeous. So I'm hoping that this page comes out how I'm hoping it will. I might just do 2 layers of this colour since it does look a little bit patchy. I'm going to do the other panels as well. Trying to think. Next, I could do some red velvet cakes. So we'll have this cake as a red velvet. And I think we'll make this one a red velvet as well. And I'll do like some pink icing, but for now I'll just add on some reddish cherries. And I'll do one more. I'm debating these little muffins or maybe this cake up here. Maybe let's do this cake up here. Then I'm gonna grab my pink. So I'm using Shadow Pink RV270. And I'm just gonna start with the icing on this cake. And I'll add it to the piping bag. And then also for this cake here. And put it over the top of this cake. Okay. I'm just making sure I haven't left any little gaps. I'm also going to use powder pink. So I've got R20. So I'm thinking to put it on the tip nozzle for this piping, and I'll also put it as the flower and hot detail. And I'll leave it like that for now. And I'm going to start doing some of those other cakes, just bringing the page to color a little bit more. So I've got mocassin and yellowish brown, so I'm starting with YR250 and then going over it with YR260 for some depth. So I'm just going to do the bread rolls to start off with. I think that's all the cakes for now. So then I'm gonna go in with yellowish brown, YR260, and just add some soft browning around. And then we have a little think. I think I will make these little red velvet cupcakes. So I'm just gonna grab those other colors again, starting with Old Red, which is R7, and then Shadow Pink RV270. So starting with R7, I'm just going to do some red velvet cupcakes. And some pink icing. I'll leave these ones just in case I end up using like a dark brown for anything, so they can always be like little chocolate, triple chocolate muffins. So I think next I will maybe add my wood around. Yeah, I think let's do that. So I've got E060 light mahogany. Okay, then I think under here would be dark brown as well. Okay, I think that's looking cute. And then just to add some warmth and lightness to this, I'm going to just add even more depth to the cakes. I've got BR3, which is rose beige. And I think I'm just gonna add some little bread details. And then going over to the brush side. I think that looks good. I probably add some clothes to some of these little characters. I was thinking of doing like a cute little dress for this little character here. So I find the best way to do it is to draw the outline of the clothes first with the marker and then colour in the skin tone and then use my black fine liner pen to go over that. So I've got Viola, which is V230, And I might start with the fine liner side actually, just so I can draw the outline. I think I will make it like a little ruffle neck detail, and I'll have it stop at her arms, and it'll just be like a dress. I'm just gonna colour that in. I might just take the dress down a little bit lower. Okay, I think that's cute. And then for the actual little teddy, I will probably use, let's have a look. I think I'll use more casted, which is YR250. So then for the little hands, and then the legs, and then I'll show you how I add my fine liner. So I've got my black liner here, and then just anywhere, I kind of want this to be like ruffled, so it'll be like that, and that. So then that's her little dress. And I want to do her bag pink, so I'm gonna grab shadow pink, yeah, or powder pink. I'm trying to think what could work. Let me try powder pink. So I've got R20, and I'm just gonna do that for her little bow in her hair. Yeah, I think that peachy colour might work better actually. I could do that for her bow and maybe her shoes. And then I'm just trying to decide what colour to do her little bag. I am thinking shadow pink could be cute. So I've got RV270. I'm just going to go over her little purse. Okay, I think our first little character looks really cute, and I'll probably then use that powder pink R20 just for her little cheeks, and I'll use that fine liner pen just to do a little cat eye with some lashes on it. There we go. She's looking extra cute. And for this fella next to her, I was thinking he could be wearing like kind of like a teal or like a bluey green jumper with some corduroy trousers, and then like a burgundy bag and hat to keep that vibe going. So let me grab the blue I had in mind. So I have this dolphin blue color, so BG5. So I'm just going to, I think around here for his top. I thought to add my colors now so that when I want to add any extra pops or accents, I can kind of look to see if it balances out or not. I hope that makes sense. So for example, now that I've done that, I feel like this little money jar here would make sense being the same color. And then I might just do a little second layer there. And then I'm gonna give him some round bottoms and just check. I think I'll just do the light mahogany color. Or I could even do, actually I'm gonna do rose beige. So I've got BR3 here and just do that for his trousers. And then for his shoes, I'm thinking light mahogany, so E060. And I'm going to use the fine liner side of that color just to add like a belt loop kind of detail and some corduroy lines to his bottoms. And then using that fine liner side, I'm going to draw around his corduroys a little bit. Then for his actual bear color, I think yellowish brown would be the best. So I've got Y260. And like I mentioned before, I do want to bring that burgundy up into his bag and hat. So I've got R7 and I'm just gonna go around his bag. I think I might go back over his bottoms again with a light mahogany. I don't really like that colour I used initially. So just give him brown bottoms, and then just so his legs don't look too same, I'm just going to go over that with that same burgundy colour again. Oh, actually, I could use like a really dark brown. Let me have a look. I do have mahogany, which is Y12, so I could just go over his shoes. Yeah, I think that looks better. And I can use that to outline under here a little bit. And just blend that out with mahogany. Okay, so that's what we've got going on so far. I think, let me do the floor just to make sure that I don't want the page to look too dark. I do want some lightness on it, so I'm going to do eggshell white, which is E090, and I'm just going to do that all over the floor. And I think I'll also have it as the countertop colour. I think on the countertop I'll add like some little specks on the floor just for it to look a bit texturally different. Okay, so this is what we've got at the moment. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. I am tempted to make that countertop a bit darker, but I think let me add the door and other details and I might end up liking what I have in the end. So I'm gonna use that Y12 mahogany where they are behind the counter, just because I feel like this area would be much more shadowed. Just gonna blend that out with mahogany, with light mahogany, sorry, just so it doesn't look completely too dark. And using that light mahogany, I'm gonna go over the door frame. And also over the shelf holding the cakes. But I am planning on this being like a window display, so I want some light coming through the back. So I'm only just going to do the actual shelving. Okay, and then using Y12, I'm gonna add some really soft shading and along the bottom. And along the edges. And same on the door, just along the edges, just to give it more of a 3D feel. And then I'm going to blend that out with mahogany again. Add a little bit around there. Here we go. Okay, so this is what we've got going on right now. I'm quite happy with it. I'm gonna add a black outline to his sleeves, and then I'll probably do their outfits next and then balance it out with their outfits as well. I'm thinking to do like pink tops and then burgundy aprons, but I'm not sure, or pink aprons with burgundy tops. But I do feel like I have a lot of pink going on around that area. I do need to find a way to get some purple and more blues involved. But I think up next I would do the workers' outfits. I'm going to make them 2 mechanics actually. So they're just going to be wearing some like overalls. Oh, the colour I've got is PB11, it's marine blue. So I think I'll make them short sleeved and then just all over. And I'll give them black or brown boots, I'm not sure yet. I'll say they're on like their little lunch break and they're picking up some sweet treats for their wives back home. And then for their colour, I think I would do one of them like a orange cat. So I'll start with Y4 quince and then do chrome orange around. And then I'm adding chrome orange, oops, the brush side, around where I kind of want it to be a bit more shadowed. And I might find a slightly darker orange as well, just to make it stand out a little bit more. I could use yellowish brown so then I don't go too orange with it. Or deep orange actually. Yeah, I think deep orange could be a better choice. Yeah. So I've got E490. Just taking it around. Yeah, perfect. And just gonna blend that out with Y4 so it doesn't look too harsh. And I'll probably use powdered pink R20 for inside the ears, and really soft plush. Yeah, I am really happy with that. I think that looks like a nice contrast. I'm just going to use the fine liner to do a little outline. And then I think for that little bear in the back, I'll use rose beige, if I can find it. Oh no. Yeah, so I've got B3 rose beige. It rolled underneath, but managed to get it out. So I'm just using that for this little teddy in the back. And then I'll also just add deep orange on top of that to help it stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I've got E490 and I'm just adding a soft layer of that. Perfect. And I think I will probably use maybe like fruit pink. I've got R21 and I'm just going to use that to do the insides of the ears and some soft blush again. There we go. I think that looks better. I'll come back to those shoes like I mentioned before, but I think I'll probably do the window, the light coming through from the window, and then I'll do the other details. But I was thinking of adding like some gingham to the tablecloth and maybe incorporating some pink or purple there. Okay, so let's do the windows. So for this, I've got barium yellow, Y3, and sunflower, which is Y2. And I'm starting with barium yellow, and I'm just doing that all over. And I don't know if the yellow I've got in mind might be too dark. I might end up using quince instead, but I'll try adding a bit of Y2 to the top. Okay, that's fine. So I'm kind of just creating a little gradient. And I'm also just going to blend that out with quince, which is Y4. And then go back in with Y3. Just blend all of that out together. And that looks quite nice. So I'm going to do the same up here. So I'm still just starting with Y3, barium yellow. I'm going to use that same Y2 sunflower yellow and just go along the very tops the shelves, and then go in with Y4 quints and just blend over that. And then lastly go back in with Y3 and just gently blend all of that together. Okay, I am really happy with that. I do want to use, where is it now? Quints Y4 and just go over some of the cake details as a bit of like a light glow. The ones by the window. And I think I mentioned that I wanted to add chocolate brown top, but I actually haven't found the right. I might do BR3. See how that looks on top of these muffins. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, let me have a think and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got a V230 viola and I'm just gonna do like gingham design for this basket here. And also make it the colour for this cake stand here. And I'm gonna use BR3 Rose Beige to do these little baskets. And I'll do this lining using viola. I might make it the cake stand again. Yeah, maybe if I do all the cake stands in viola. Oh, I did miss a patch there. Okay. Let me just grab eggshell white and go over the little patch I missed here. And I think for this linen, I will probably do powder pink gingham design. So I've got R20 and I'm just going to do while I still have this powder pink colour in my hands, I'm going to go over the walls. And I'll use that same colour to just do really soft shadows on the floor. And then I'm still trying to have a think. I need to like lock in a colour for the gift boxes and then for their aprons. I was kind of thinking burgundy aprons or burgundy work tops, but I don't know if that's just too much burgundy on the page or if it's the right amount. I'm not sure anymore. I know I do need some more blue on the page. Maybe she's got blue jeans on, yeah. So I'm gonna give her some blue jeans. So that blue is PB11 Marine Blue. Maybe blueberry muffins, yeah, and blueberry cookies. Okay. So they've both got blue jeans. I think that's a bit more balanced out. And pink tops, I think. So I've got shadow pink. Another option is that their aprons are like purple, which could balance things out. And then the gift boxes are burgundy. I am struggling here. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe that countertop should have all just been dark brown rather than this pale colour I've given it. Okay, that's one option. Either way, let me do their little teddy colours first and then we'll get into it. I think I will make this little teddy warm brown, and then this teddy moccasin. So let me just grab moccasin YR250. And then the other teddy is yellowish brown, YR260. I will make them both have like ombre style ears. So she'll have yellowish brown ears. And I'll blend that into her moccasin. Whereas this little teddy will have rose beige ears, so BR3. So and I might give them little bows as well. So then I'll blend that into her yellowish brown. Okay, I think that's looking really cute. I can now use my black marker to outline where the tops end and where the jeans start. And then I think I'll give them both little lashes as well. Oh, so cute. Okay, I think I'm seriously thinking to just make the countertop dark brown. So I'm just gonna grab light mahogany. So I've got E060 and I'm gonna go over the countertop. Or the other option was to add like little specks on top. Okay, let's try that first. So using the fine liner, just like little sprinkle type lines. And then if it doesn't look good, I'll just go over it with a dark brown. And I'll also use marine blue for some sprinkles. actually really like that. I think that looks a lot better than I thought. And lastly, I'll use chrome orange to add some sprinkles. Okay, so I think that looks really good at the moment. I will probably add either burgundy aprons or burgundy teal. I might make the teal green, because money. Yeah, I'm gonna make the teal that dolphin blue color. Okay, I think that's making sense. And then while I continue to dance around what color to do things, we're gonna grab mahogany, which is Y12, and we'll do those workers' work boots. Let me just take the plunge and do the aprons in R7. I think just solid is better. I might just have to make this a dark chocolate cake rather than red velvet, just so it doesn't blend into her top too much, into her apron too much, sorry. So I'm gonna use mahogany Y12 and go over this cake. and also these. And then I think some fun colours for those boxes would be maybe crow. Oh, maybe that's too much. I think I did grab fruit pink earlier, so R21. I'll have a look what other colour makes sense. Maybe coral pink. Okay, so I've got R1, coral pink. I'm so tempted to do the same speckled, sprinkled vibe on the floor, but I don't know if it looks fine now, so that it can stand out a bit. I'm just gonna do a second layer over these. I'll see if I can use white to add some sort of wrapping detail to it. I guess to balance that out, actually, where did I put that? I should use that same R1 and have it over here in this little plate. And just have some pink sprinkles. Pink sprinkles. I've got my white acrylic marker. I am gonna see if I can add some wrapping details. And a little bow to their hair. Okay, I think that's a cute detail. And some money at the bottom. And a white trim to the tail. And some reflection lines over the glass. And that's cute. add some reflection lines. And then using a yellow, I'm going to add some reflective light. Let's say this character gets like an all-around glow because it's right in the middle of it. And then her little arm as well. I might have gone too far. I think I'll stop there with the glow. I decided to make her shoes, bag and bow this R1 colour. I thought it just looked a bit flat compared to the walls around her. So I'm just changing the colour of her bag and bow and her shoes as well. Yeah, I think that just looks so much more balanced, so much better. So here's our end result. Thank you so much for colouring along with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did and that it was just the perfect little cozy time for you. And I hope that I'll see you back again next week for our next episode in this series. And if you want to keep this vibe going, I'll put a playlist up here for all the other Bobbie Goods colouring pages. But yeah, thank you so much and I'll see you next week. Bye bestie.